Oh boy. Oh boy. It is early and I am dragging today. Dragging. I don't think, and not dragon like this is China, okay? This isn't the year of the dragon right now. I'm talking dragon. Draggin. I don't know why. See what I'm saying? I'm like at when you're a young lad and you have a sleepover and you get delirious with your buddies and you just start laughing uncontrollably and you can't stop. Like, I'm a little bit delusional. Drove to South Dakota last night, picked up a stove, Freeman, South Dakota, drove through Yankton. It was real nice. It was a nice, beautiful drive on the way there. The drive back was just through darkness, man. Just through nighttime. My wife says that she saw a wolf. I don't think so. It's probably a coyote, maybe a big dog, most likely a coyote, but not a wolf. Yeah, South Dakota, picked up a stove, went to a town, Freeman. Smells like a pile of shit, let me tell you. A lot of cows. You're probably not familiar with Meade, Nebraska, but if you ever go, it just smells like a gigantic pile of cow shit. And it was so humid, dude. It was so humid last night that the cow poop it fuses with the humidity and it just wraps around you in a blanket of poo, and it sucks. It smells. I feel bad for the people that live there. The stove was awesome. It is awesome. It's an old General Electric. We're talking 1950s. We're talking mint condition. Beautiful. The color of white on it. I mean, it is tip top. It looks like it was that I just picked it up at the Nebraska Furniture Mart. I mean, it is a nice piece of equipment. Good price, works fantastic, and it doesn't hook up to Wi-Fi. It doesn't listen to me. China isn't collecting data from me with it. It just, the burners turn on, the oven turns on, it does its business. It's not controlled by an app. What the hell does, yeah, it's convenient. It's also insane to have everything just controlled with an app. I'm telling you. So I sent my wife yesterday to get tires at Walmart before the journey to South Dakota. And I don't recommend anyone going to Walmart for anything auto related. I mean, these people, it's insane that if the price on the tires wasn't so good, I mean, next time, okay, if I had the choice, Discount Tire all the way, I would have, the tires I wanted from Discount Tires had to be ordered, and they were going to take 1 to 5 days. I didn't have time for that. I had a leak in the back. These tires were done. They were like racing slicks, needed to be replaced. So I found a good tire for a good price at Walmart. I call them up and I'm like, hey, I'd like to schedule an appointment to have tires put on today. We don't do that. That's what they said to me. We don't schedule appointments. You just have to come in. And then if we're not busy, we'll get to it. I was like, that is the most insane customer experience I have ever heard of in my life. But I'm like, well, will you be busy in an hour? He's like, well, we shouldn't be. Okay, whatever. So then there's 5 tires left, the ones that I want, and I wanted 4. And he goes, we don't hold tires. Okay, you don't make appointments and you don't hold tires? What are you even doing? Shut down the auto district of the Walmart. But regardless, I sent my wife there. They said it would take only an hour and a half. She was stranded with my son at Walmart at a table at Subway. She just reeked of bread. Just smelled of the Subway bread like you wouldn't imagine. I mean, it is burned into her pores and her hair. She'll probably smell like Subway bread for the rest of her life. They were there for 3 hours. 3 hours. After an hour and a half, they went back there. The car was just in the air with 2 of the tires on the back that haven't even been done yet. I had to call, and I was like, hey, dude, you said an hour and a half. Get the vehicle done. Like, we have to be somewhere. I have a 1950s oven to pick up. Do you think this is a joke? This is serious biz, man. She could move on to the next person in Marketplace. Like, do you want that for me? Eric? So then they busted it out, got it done. They were like, "Oh, sorry, your lug nuts are swollen." I'm like, "Well, do I need new lug nuts?" They were like, "No, look at whatever, dude. It was hard getting them off." Hard getting them off. Okay. That's what she said. Yeah, just ridiculous. I don't recommend it. I'm about to do a Google review jihad on that one. But what's the even point? Like, what are they doing? Don't take appointments. Don't hold tires. Whatever. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't care. So we drove up to South Dakota. I think probably the most interesting thing that I saw, just a guy, just total lack of respect for anyone but himself. This man, he was getting gas at a Casey's, and he was a large man. He was a large mammal for sure. I'm talking very, very big. Wearing a deluxe-sized Slayer t-shirt. And then he was so kind enough to share his demonic music with everyone at the gas station. Blasting Slayer. I'm talking, dude, probably volume 100 out of those 6x8s. All right, out of his Kenwood stereo, just blare. I mean, talk about just getting amped up for a kill. The guy was dressed and just blaring that music like he was on his way to a ritual sacrifice. And then he goes inside into the Casey's just blaring his music for everyone to hear. Like, what is it with the douchers at the lakes, at the public recreational lakes in Omaha, and I'm sure other places? I've talked about this earlier on in the show, that are on electric bikes. They're in their 20s. They don't exercise. They have speakers hooked to their bikes, and they're just blaring provocative murder rap, sexual murder rap, for all the families to hear while they're trying to have picnics. Same with this guy. It's like, dude, we don't want to hear your music, okay? If I wanted to listen to Slayer, then I would also, I would blare it myself. I'm going to turn that shit down. I'm saying shit a lot today. I am. I gotta admit, it's probably, out of all the curse words, it's probably my favorite word. It doesn't sting like the F word or any of the other words. It's really, it's fun to say. Shit. Like, you can say it a lot of different ways. Shit, man. Dude, my buddy sent me this video of Quentin Tarantino talking with black people and then talking like one of them. I don't know what it is with the Democrats that when they get around black people, they just start talking with ebonics. He goes, I done do that. Like, dude, so offensive. Quentin Tarantino, it was absolutely wild to listen to the whole time. Crazy accent. Very racist, that Quentin Tarantino. Loves to put the N-word in his movies. Lots of times. Just sitting there at his typewriter. Just blasting those racist keys over and over again, just spelling out racism. No one cares. They're like, give him some Oscars. I don't know if he's ever won an Oscar, and also I don't care. I'm about to go, dude. I have allergies right now, and it just sucks. It's in my nose, it's in my throat. Like right now, my throat is tickling. It's just one of those things where I want to cough all the time, but I hold it in, and I'm just like, you won't cough out, like nothing will come out of my throat. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just trying not to cough. That's what I'm trying to say. So I decided that there's this thing called 75 Hard. Maybe you've heard about it. I think I'm going to give it a go. Know someone that's doing it, and he told me what it was, and I was like, boom, challenge accepted. I was going to start today, but I journeyed to South Dakota, and then got back late. I didn't have any of my supplies because I need my supplies for this. You got to do like 75 Hard. I don't know. Some guy created it. I don't know his name. I listened to the podcast episode where he talks about it, but I don't remember much. But what I do remember is you do 2 workouts a day, okay? You do 45 minutes, and that workout has to be outside in the elements. It does not matter. Rain, snow, shine, tornado, locusts, doesn't matter. You're working out. The other 45 minutes, indoors, or I guess it could be your preference. 2 different workouts. So I'm going to run, and then I'm going to do some core synergistics. I'm going to do some Russian twists. I'm going to do some crunches, some push-ups, some flexibility stretches, stuff like that. And then maybe some, moving to some weights, but really some just using your own body weight, resistance training. Kind of like what if you were in a jail cell, how you would work out. Like that's going to be my second workout, the jail cell workout, the whole, solitary confinement workout. And then you read 10 pages of a nonfiction book every day. You pick like a certain diet, not like a fad diet, just your diet, like how you want to eat for the 75 days. And then you drink a gallon of water. And I think that's about covers it. You got to do it for 75 days. And if you don't do any of those things, you miss one of them on a day, you have to start over. And I'm like, yeah, dude, challenge. They said that it's more of a mental mindset challenge than it is, losing weight and working out and all that. And I'm like, dude, I am game for that. So I'm going to start tomorrow. Look it up, 75 Hard. You should also do it. Why not? You say that you got a lot going on. Dude, who doesn't? Everyone has a lot going on. Add this to it. Screw it. Wake up, push through. Oh, yeah, no drinking booze. I don't know if you drink, but when you do this, you can't drink. I'm already acting like you're doing it because you got to. You got to. So everybody's got a lot going on. I told my one buddy, I'm like, hey, you should start this. I'm going to start it yesterday. I'm going to start it tomorrow or the next day. I got to get my supplies. And he was like, no, I got so much going on. I'm like, dude, it's never a good time to do anything. You realize that. Like, I saw this video yesterday, and I think it was from the guy that does, I think it was Scott Adams, the Dilbert guy. I don't know. I've seen him in the past, and that's who it looked like, but I am unsure. Someone saved it, and they said the difference between lazy people and people that do things is that when the lazy person, when they think about, something that they want to accomplish, they focus on all the work and all the effort it's going to take. That's where their focus is. So then they're like, that's too much. I'm not going to do that. But then the people that get it done, they know that there's going to be work and effort, but they're just thinking about the end result. That's where they focus on. And then they just go and they start doing it. And then granted, they got to do all the work and effort along the way. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's it. It's also just lying to yourself and being delusional and just being like, oh yeah, this will be easy. Like secretly, you know that it's not, but you have to lie to yourself so that you'll end up doing it. That's the key. I think that there wasn't anything open. Like we didn't get dinner. It was almost 11 o'clock by the time we got, back to Yankton after we had picked up the oven. And which, by the way, was in a basement, extremely heavy, strapped it to a dolly. My wife and this other woman pushed it up the stairs as I pulled. It was a miracle that we got that thing loaded up. And so we didn't eat on the way there. And then on the way back, there's just like McDonald's open and like Arby's. And so we went through Arby's and I got some curly fries and my wife got, beef and cheddar. And I'm like, this has to be one of the most unhealthy restaurants there are. Just shaved meats. Like one of you can order I haven't been to Arby's forever. You can order like a meal, like a number one or whatever, and then they have like 3 sizes. One of them is a half pound of thinly sliced meats. And you can get it covered in a chemical cheese or not covered in a chemical cheese. And it's huge. On the menu, dude, the thing is massive. How many people are eating a half pound of sliced meats that big for like lunch? I'm sure a lot of people. I mean, my God, talk about not being productive at all. But so I ate some of the curly fries and I'm like, dude, no, I just can't even. They're good, but they don't even taste like fries, if you know what I mean. It's just, I'm like, are there even potatoes in this crispy fried stuff that I'm eating? Ugh, I couldn't even do it. I just ate some of them. I went and got a kombucha because I had to pick up something at Walmart. Right after that, I'm like, give me a kombucha, man. I need some probiotics. Counteract this nasty fries that are good, but also, not. It's a love-hate. But dude, you just, with those curly fries and then the sliced meats and the chemical cheese sauce, like Arby's just, it seems worse than McDonald's. I'm going to be honest. Like McDonald's is like, all right, I'm not eating real bread. This is made out of some sort of yoga mat product. This meat obviously would never decompose, never mold. The whole experience is just super weird. But Arby's, you're like, I can feel the years being shaved off my life. Just like this shaved meat. So, what am I trying to say? Just let's put them out of business. It's time the empire that is Arby's crumbles and falls. And so something different can rise in its place. Some restaurant that the main ingredient that they serve is hummus. How about that? I was thinking about, as I was going through like news articles and stuff like that, or just scrolling through the headlines this morning, there was just more talk of how Trump is Hitler. And then I started thinking like what if he got, when someone says something about you so much, you're like, fine, you want that? Is that what you want? Then I'll give it to you. Like, what if he snaps? Like, what if he snaps and he's so tired of being called Hitler? He's like, I'm Hitler? I'll show you Hitler. I'll give you Hitler. Like, what if that actually fuels him to become Hitler or exceed him, exceed what Hitler was, because he's so tired of being called it that he's got to double down, you know? He's like, you want this? This is what you wanted. Third Reich, Hitler. Like, dude, I don't know, man. I mean, people get tired. They get tired of when people are just talking shit and they keep saying you're something that you're not or something that you don't think that you are. And then you're like, I'm going to give it to him. That's just a thought that I had. I don't know. What do you think? So unfortunately, yesterday we lost a chicken. Vivian. She was one of the first. 6 years old, died of old age. She had all the signs. We looked it up. You know, they stop eating, they become real skinny, and then they just lay down and they go to heavenly rest. And it's sad, man. You lose a lot of animals, you know, when you have a little homestead, and you get attached to them because you care for these things. You work to keep them alive. They have personalities. Every one of them are a little bit different, and then they get sick, and it's sad. It's a sad thing. So we have a chicken burial tonight. Some of the animals that have really been significant and mean a lot to us, you know, we've in the past we'll bury them. We got like a little graveyard, of course. We lose a lot of animals because we have a lot, and one of the spot where we've buried some, we have like a cross, like a little white cross. And one old dude in the town came by once, and was dropping off some like cucumbers to my wife, and he's like, what's over there? That white cross. If you got an animal buried there, that's sacrilegious. And I'm like, dude, my wife told me that, and I'm like, that is definitely that is two things. Because these small towns out there, they're all just Catholic, just so bizarre. I live in a town of less than 50 people, and they have like a Catholic church. It's like, I guess the Vatican just has, I don't know, unlimited funds. They can just funnel money into something that could never support itself or last on its own. And so it's either a Catholic thing or these older people that grew up, you know, on farms and grew up with a lot of animals that are still around and hanging on. They were just told that because they had way more animals than we do, and it was way more about survival back then. So I'm sure like kids were like, oh, let's bury it, you know, cemetery, and then the dad's like, I can't have an entire field of just buried animals with like 100, 500 crosses out here. So they were probably like, that's sacrilegious. We don't do that here. Crosses are only for human beings. So those are the two things that it could be. But it can't be sacrilegious. God made the animals, just like he made humans. If anything, it's a sign of just like respect. It's like, we respect this creation. We respect this animal and what it was. Some of them get buried. Some of them get thrown in a ditch. It just depends on the circumstances at the time. Plain and simple. So, yeah, Vivian is getting a burial tonight, and I might put a 6-foot cross over top her, over top the grave. We shall see. I shall see. You won't see anything. But, we'll say a little prayer. We'll be like, God bless you. I was listening to, my wife loves country music. We're going to go see Cody Johnson coming up, and also Jason Aldean next week. Ooh, double banger, because, yesterday, 25 years we just celebrated since when I asked her to be my girlfriend. So we're going to some concerts to celebrate. And one thing that I've noticed about country music, because I've listened to a ton of it now over the years, use a lot of the same keywords. A lot of the keywords just creeping up all the time, like neon lights, that's a huge one. You know, dirt roads, back roads, that's one, you know, a bunch of keywords. Like I'm gonna dig more into this because I just can't believe how many of these keywords are just like reused in so many songs. It's almost like Taco Bell. It's only like a few ingredients, but they make like 1,000 different items. You know, country music's the same way. It's only like a few different ingredients, word ingredients, and then they just make 1,000 songs out of it. So I got to go into some deep research and just look into all these, because it's just what the people want. It's what you want. It's what they demand. You know, this needs to be a government-funded project. Millions need to be poured into this research effort simply for one white paper to be released. And been like, yeah, turns out, you know, they use a handful of words a lot. And they're like, how much did this study cost? And I would say millions. Absolutely millions of taxpayer dollars. And it was worth every penny. All right, this is the Austin Anderson Show. I will be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to your streaming platform. Give me a subscribe on YouTube. Sitting at 2 subscribers, 2. Very proud of it. Very excited. Still getting views. So people are still listening to it. Just not subscribing. That's fine. If I want to, maybe I'll just make it my goal to be at 2 forever. Doesn't matter. But give me some love there, if you would. Because then, now it's like I'm contradicting myself. I'm like, but it kind of matters. Whatevs. All right, enjoy the day.